Looks like that's working. Looks like okay. Looks like we are working. We'll give that a couple of seconds, then we'll check it again. Make sure everything's okay. There we go. Okay, cool. So it looks like everything's rocking and rolling. We should be good. So today, as you can see, I still have all of my shit on my desk. So today, I decided not to play games because I haven't finished that event generator yet. I basically just didn't get to work on it all week. I having some health issues this week and just didn't have the energy to work on it. So didn't get to finish it, unfortunately. Hello. But it's all good. We got some other stuff we can do when we hang out today. Specifically, I have a massive box of Zone Mortalis terrain to my right, just off camera. It's actually probably not really off camera. It's right there. So I figured we'd start working on that. And first, I want to take some look at some other hobby stuff that's coming along. So, first up, I've got these guys. I printed up a squad of 5 of these guys and then kit bashed them. These are going to be my cultists for one-page rules for when we get to play again. These are going to be my Nurgle cultists for when we're fighting Nurgle. So that there's some like cultist guys. It's basically there's a step between zombie and plague marine. So I printed myself up 5 of these. They're all pretty good. I got dudes and ladies. Papa Nurgle doesn't discriminate. They're pretty good. So they're made out of parts from Anvil Industries that I 3D printed. Specifically, they're like Zone Alpha Wasteland Survivors pack and stuff from their Armored Cultist pack. And I also printed myself up a heavy gun. You can see the piece of dog hair stuck in it there. But I printed myself up a heavy gun because I thought that would be fun to have like a gun emplacement being like, you know, I thought that'd be pretty cool. But they're pretty neat. They're all kind of like scrappy, different bits of armor here and there, different little bags and pouches, and like all the pouches and stuff. That's all the stuff I added. They all have the like auto guns from the cultist set, so they're pretty fun. I just thought they would be really useful to have when playing games with myself. I thought they'd be super useful. So yeah, so they're just a nice little fun addition. Other fun stuff. This is one of the Chaos Beasts from this month's, I think it's called Cult of Print. I gave him some balls because of course I did. I think it's called Cult of Print on My Mini Factory. These things are fucking awesome. They're all modular, so everywhere you can see white, that's me filling in a line from where I put an arm or something. But they're entirely modular, and there's basically 3 different like kinds. So there's like a like kind of more Nurgle one like this, and then there's like a Zinch one and like a corn kind of one. They're really fucking cool. Really cool. I don't have bases for the others yet, so this is the only one I've got. So I actually have to hook up my FDM printer today. That's going to be my goal for the afternoon, and print myself a whole lot of bases. Speaking of which, this guy needs a base. So this is a Great Unclean One, like expansion set, I guess. It uses the bits, so the head and the arms from the actual Great Unclean One kit, and then you print yourself essentially out a different posed body. It doesn't fit together perfectly. It fits together pretty okay, but it's a little janky and not perfect. You know, especially I had my weirdest part here on this hip, so I had to fill it in with green stuff and not just goo. And then I had to. This here is going to be the like fold of the fabric. It'll make more sense when it's painted. But I put a couple extra little bits on him, some extra horns and a nurgling and these cool tubes coming out of his ribs. Right, these are from the Great Beast of Nurgle, little tentacles and stuff. But really cool. I mean, and for the cost of like $10, you basically get a second grade and clean one, with a little bit of work. So it's pretty awesome. And the cool thing is it's going to look similar to the existing grade and clean one, but like in a different pose, which is really nice. Because I wanted another grade and clean one. Because I love mine. He's one of my favorite models. And I wanted it but I didn't want like the same pose. You know, he's very static in his pose. So this is nice. You know, and I'm not sure if he's going toodaloo or if he's like casting a spell, but either way, LOL. So yeah, that's really cool. Really, really cool. The file itself is like $7. I'm gonna be super honest. I feel like that's too much because this file is pretty janky. And then he's about like $4 or $5 worth of resin. But for like 10, 15 bucks, you get a second grade and clean one. You really, really can't beat it. It's fucking awesome. Really, really awesome. And the last thing before we actually get to work, I want to show off my, again, more 3D printing. I wanted to show off my pump wagon. So this is my Skaven plague furnace that I'm working on. That's that I decided I didn't want to use the big swinging thing. If you've seen my Instagram, I made a big mega gargant, like rat ogre, who's swinging that giant like sensor with the fire coming out of it. So I didn't really want to reuse that piece because it's very like iconic. You know what I mean? He's actually in competition right now. That model is. He's in the local competition. Otherwise, I'd show him off to show what I mean. But so I got another one of these out of that Shadow Forest or whatever. The recent Skaven box. I got another one of these out of that. So I wanted to make a different kind of plague furnace, right? So there's like a big tank of goop, and then there's got all these things here, these wires and bits holding them up. And this is a free STL. These are that I found online. These and this, and then I mixed them with some pipe STLs and a little bit of similar things. So you can see this here. That's the same bit here. I actually found a plague furnace STL, and I took bits from it. That's how I got more of these and stuff. This is from the plague furnace STL. It is. This is the Gracier that I converted. So I cut part of him off and redid his staff, and wanted to make him look a little bit different from the other one. And then all the wires, they're all just wire, and then a bunch of bells that I found as free STLs as well. So this is actually a paint pot upside down. I thought it was kind of funny that if it was spraying goo out, that it was a paint pot. I don't know. I thought that was funny. So you can see the tip of it if you look down there. I just thought I found it kind of ironic. So yeah, that's my plague furnace, my spurty boy. Just a fun little different thing. I really enjoy painting this fire too. This is really fun. I might actually add a little bit more to it because it's so much fun. The like spurt. This is a wire armature that I made out of just little wire I had. It's like slightly smaller than the width of like a paper clip. So this is like a wire armature I made that I then covered in hot glue. So that's all hot glue. And then to make all the like little like splashes and stuff, that's all mixed. What is it called? Hold on, I'll get the thing. Heavy gel gloss from Golden. Thick, clear drying acrylic medium. It makes cool little splashy effects and stuff. I use it for water. I use it for doing fire sometimes. So all the weird little splashy bits on that are all from that. So yeah, so that's really cool. That's my plague furnace. I'm really happy with it. He'll be getting top coated soon, and then he'll be joining my army. But anyway, let's move on to the stuff we actually are here to work on today. Wait, hold up. I've been talking for like 10 minutes about my toys. I know, I apologize, but One Page Rules Jackals. These things are fucking amazing. Really some of the coolest SCLs. Really, really cool. They're just like, I don't know, like little foxes live in the desert. Fennecs. Yeah, they're like furry fennecs, essentially, but also like scavengers. I love them. I have a bunch printed out. I'm going to print out some more. They're really, really fucking cool. I'll probably use a little bit more color separation on him because he's very like monotone, but it's okay. All right, and with that, let me stop rambling and actually get to doing something besides just being like, look at my toys. I'm a grown man. Alright, so this is some of that Necromunda big box train I showed off. I did an unboxing for recently. It's kind of sprayed. You can see some bits that aren't like perfect. This actually still has paint on it. It's just not like super visible, which is fine. That's how we want the underhyped look. So this is all sprayed with really like kind of thick and like resistant silver paint that I got from the hardware store. It's still like okay to use on plastic, right? It's not gonna like flake off or anything. The box says you can use it on plastic, but it's very like resilient, which is good. Terrain tends to get beat around a little bit. Like for example, right now all my Necromunda terrain is just kind of tossed in a box, like straight, just like all just tossed in a cardboard box. I need to get like a shelf or something for it, but yeah. So we're gonna start working on that. So what I'm gonna do is to pull it down, I'm going to give it a dry brush of brown, and then we'll start filling in colors from there. So we'll probably dry brush a few pieces, and then start filling in after those pieces dry. So this is intended to be a pretty heavy overbrush. I'm not like super trying to be mega neat here. Right, I just want to give it this like. I usually do it with this brown or do it with a different brown. Yeah, we'll do it with this brown. That'll be fine. I think I might actually normally use a darker brown. You can see it's gonna just kind of give everything kind of like a brown. Yeah, definitely use a darker brown normally. It's fine. It's gonna give everything kind of a like a brown kind of coat. Right? Yeah, I definitely use a darker brown. All right, we're gonna swap to a darker brown after this one. And then we'll come back and hit this one with the darker brown too. I've got a brownish brown out now. Yeah, it'll look fine. We'll just use this brown. It's fine. I don't remember what brown I use. Do I use this one normally? Oak brown? Yeah, that's what I use actually. Let's see if this is what I use. Let's put it on and see if it's right. That looks better. Yeah, that's what I normally use. But you can see I'm like letting the piece itself sort of just be the like off brush for the dry brush, right? It's just like a heavy brushing. It's gonna pull the silver down because the silver is pretty bright otherwise, right? And in the very end, this will also get a wash. Since a lot of this, like, part of it, is like not super detail oriented. You can just use quick, cheap craft paints for this. But I actually don't have any like cheap craft paints in brown. I think the only ones I have, I think I have like a gray, and I have like a. I think I have like a gray, and I think I have like a black. That's like it. Yeah, so we'll come back and white this guy too. So we gotta get the roof here. Go around a little bit with the darker brown. So we don't waste the other brown. We'll mix some darker brown into it, just so we don't waste it. It is the underhive. It's okay if everything's a little janky. As my camera decides to try to commit suicide, please don't do that, camera. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll just mix that up. Yeah, so with this, I should have just like the most baller Necromunda table that ever fucking existed. I'll update that one again, but I need to get some paint off my brush. So yeah, and the nice thing is like, so this is this terrain that I'm grabbing here, this is all from that Necromunda terrain box, the like big release they did for Zone Mortalis, where like everything comes in one box. That's all this stuff. So I already have the stuff they included in the last Necromunda starter set. And I have the stuff from Dark Uprising. So I've got a pretty hefty amount of Necromunda terrain, right? Definitely enough to like fill a whole table up with like multiple like pretty dense layers, right? And I can have multiple themes at this point. I can do like a little marketplace, or I could do a more like industrial kind of looking piece. You know, so there's a nice bit of variety in it too, which is really good. You know, I should get. Want to get behind the ladder a little. Alright, let's do a couple more pieces and we'll go back and start painting some of the stuff. Alright. This one is one of the roof tiles. I didn't add anything to it, so I can put some other walls to it during the game, which is pretty cool. But yeah. So this terrain box is kind of cool, because you basically get everything you got in Dark Uprising, plus a little bit more. You get some more pillars, and you get the gang... Camera, for real, why are you trying to kill yourself? Stop, please. You get the gang, like, hideout pieces, and you actually get a second set of floors, which is really nice. Because the floors are really cool pieces. Especially like those games I did where like the floor is lava essentially, and you fall in it, you take damage. Those having the like floor pieces is awesome for those. So it gives your guys more stuff to walk on. That's not just like the edge of a wall or something, you know. Yeah, you can see sort of the coverage is kind of variable, but that's fine. That's what we want anyway. That's what we want anyway. Camera. For fucking real camera. What the hell? Weird. Sorry. My camera just like keeps deciding that it's going to fall down. There we go. Alright. So since you guys are probably tired of watching me like stroke this terrain, we can move on to actually doing some bits and bobs painting for it. So the terrain set I have right now uses a couple different colored style walls. One of them is like a kind of rocky gray. One of them is like a lighter gray, and one of them is taupe. I was thinking of doing a set of red walls, but I think I probably have enough color variation already, and I think I just want to do taupe, so we'll just do some more tan walls. For these. So, for what I do for these, I paint in some of the sections. The bulkhead section is perfectly fine. We don't really want to worry about that, the color it is. But the like more wall sections are what we want to paint. You know, we're not going to be perfectly neat here, right? But you know, we still, just because it's terrain doesn't mean we're going to be sloppy and stupid. You know, still want to have a nice looking piece in the end. You know, if like a little gets in the bulkhead or whatever, it's not the end of the world. Plus, this is going to get washes and stuff over top of it as well. So another guy who has Necromunda stuff out here, he painted his all up. But he did his doors in like hazard stripes. It was really cool. So this box comes with another set of doors. So I'm thinking about doing that with mine. And they just looked very cool. They looked very like spaceship bulkheady. And I thought that was neat. Besides that, these are going to get some silver for the grading. Got some yellow for any of the lights. And then we're going to pick out some bits and bobs in a couple different metal colors as well. Got some brass in here. I think some iron. I'll have to go check. I'll go grab one of the other pieces. So some of the other ones I have, they are base coated with gunmetal, not silver. So they're a little less bright, but it's okay. They all look good on the table together. So the fun things about terrain is that it doesn't have to like be perfectly matchy. The way like you know, an army of Space Marines or whatever does. Doesn't really have to do that. So it's pretty cool. You know. Since I am going to use nice washes on this, like Agrex Earthshade and all that. I will admit, Zone Mortalis is like my favorite terrain. So I wanted to grab this box for a while since it came out. My local game stores had like one of them just sort of floating around. But it was really expensive. So I was like, I don't know, man. It's a little too much for me. And then it occurred to me that they're probably not going to do any more Zone Mortalis terrain. They're probably going to move all to Ashway stuff. And then my local game store was also like, hey, would you like 30% off? And I was like, don't mind if I do. Because then it became actually a really good price. Well, as good as price as any of the GW terrain is, it's always really expensive. Like unnecessarily so, too. So... But it's really cool, and it will match and fully round out my set, and just give me like a crazy number of options. With this, I really don't need any more 40k terrain. So with the channel, like, I can't, like, this is my play space, right? Like when I stream games and stuff. So like a lot of the like really cool big buildings and stuff, like there's the one called like MDF, like what are they called, like brutalist line, right? Or they look like they're shit from like Russia. They're amazing. They're super cool, but like it just wouldn't work for me to play with myself. Giggity. And like the way the cameras and stuff work, like I can't run that kind of art, like that kind of terrain, like in my setup. So, really, this Zone Mortalis stuff is pretty much the best stuff that I could have for my setup. It's really nice. Alright, we're just gonna go back and we're gonna hit some of these. Let's give them a little more color depth. I'm not gonna go super mega crazy, right? The whole thing's going to get hit with a wash, but make the color stand out a little bit more, I'm going to. So, just a little bit of work. Right. Yeah. Got like enough like industrial stuff and all. Like, if I look at any other terrain in the future, which will not be anytime soon, it'll be looking to get like fantasy terrain, like maybe stuff that will go with my Warcry stuff. I've actually been wanting to repaint that terrain, so I did a pretty good job on it, but like I feel like I could do such a better job nowadays. You know what I mean? And it's really nice terrain. I kind of feel like it like deserves to be painted nicer, kind of thing, you know? But I've got so many projects that the idea of like going back and redoing one is kind of mental, to be honest. Like I 3D print so much stuff and all. It's crazy. Sorry, I like pulled my back or something the other day and it fucking hurts still. Ugh. But yeah, this stuff is so nice because it just like it all like fits together and is like modular, and like if you don't want to like have like a 1-story thing, you can have a 2-story thing. You can turn it into like 3 stories, all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. Just because, like, right? Like, how fucking cool is that, right? Like, that's, like, super boss. So. There's also tiles that go with this, but they kind of hold the terrain, like, in this specific, like, pattern. I'll be super honest, this terrain is way more modular than that pattern. Like, that pattern actually kind of limits you more than it helps you set up your terrain. Like, it holds everything down so it doesn't wiggle, but like, you know, so does a mat. You know what I mean? I can kind of just play on a mat. It's not a big issue. Not a big issue. There we go. You can see this one. I put this like wire thing on because it looks cool. Those wire things, they come just like in the box, and they kind of just want you to use them however. But they just look cool as a neat little detail on the walls. You know. One of the things I have seen people do with this, so like my train setup is completely modular with these, which is really boss. One of the things I have seen people do is make a couple of like kind of like centerpiece pieces. Like, you know, these couple wall pieces are like a library or whatever. And that's really neat. And then everything else that goes with it's kind of like modular. That's pretty cool too. Or like this one always has this walkway, so I can hang like wires and stuff down from it and make it look really neat. You know, that's pretty cool. So that's a neat way to do it too. But just really, this terrain gives you just so much options. I love it. Big box of it though is a lot. Like it's a lot of work. Like it's a big project. You know what I mean? It's going to take up multiple days. Right? Like, painting of it's not that bad if you have a plan to paint it. Right? Like I've got like a whole setup here. Right? Like I dry brush and then I fill a couple places in, and then like, you know, then everything gets some like detail painting. You know, just like a little bit, not like all the details, but like a couple of them kind of thing. You know, like I paint all the lights, and then I paint all of the wires, and I paint, you know, some of the vents, and I go through and I fill in some of the panels, you know. Like, you know, like this wire there, I'll paint that. One leading to the lights, I'll paint those. You know, and then I'll paint the light, stuff like that. We'll get to those probably today, to be honest. I think I'll probably take like 2 of these pieces and take them all the way to done. Normally I would like more production line this shit, to be honest, but fill in some more color. So the color's a little deeper there. Alright, well I guess we'll do 3 of them then, I guess. Or we'll just use up whatever brown I have left, and then we'll go to doing some of the detail paint on the walls. But yeah, that's really cool. I am kind of on the fence for the new Necromunda book. I enjoyed playing Necromunda, the little campaign I played on the channel. I enjoyed playing that a lot with Meat Hammer and his boys. But I don't know. One-page rules just seems to do such a better job of it nowadays. Like, it's just so much more chill, you know? Not that Necromunda's that bad, because it's really not. Like, it's, like rules-wise, people say it's pretty crunchy, but it's really not. People say that about Battletech, too. And Battletech gets pretty crunchy, but, like, the weird thing about Battletech is that the crunchy parts don't change. So, like, the crunchy parts aren't related to the mechs. They're just the core rules. So once you have those down, every game you play with Battletech, it's going to do that same crunchy thing. You know, it's the same with Necromunda. It's the same with Necromunda. Like, once you have those core crunchy rolls down, you're golden. You know, I'll be super honest. I'm still not sure I'm playing them right, but but I have fun. But like with Grimdark Firefight Gang War, like you don't even have that concern, right? Like the core rules are nice and simple, and you just like, I don't know, play and have fun. Like I really can't stress how great one-page rules is. It's like a godsend to me, like straight up, like, because like 40K right now is just, it's so intense. I don't want to play it, right? Like everything's always changing, and like this is good now this is bad, and like, you know, the difference between something that's like thematic and silly and something that's min-maxed is like a fucking mile, like straight up, like, you know, one of the things that you run into with lots of viewers, or not viewers, lots of like games mechanics and stuff, is that when you have this really big gulf between like your best players and your worst players, it actually makes them like resent each other pretty bad, which is really weird when you think about it. But I mean, it's what happens. You have these players that are really good, right? And they're just like fucking crushing it. They're like, I understand this game, I'm gonna kick its ass, you know? And you've got players that are like, you know, all might works are cool, right? Like me. And the problem that you end up having is that the players like me are essentially holding back the like other players, but at the same time, those other players are dragging the other people forward faster than they want to go. And what ends up happening is that nobody's having a good time, right? See, I'm just painting it all over the light. I'm going to come back and I will do the bars afterwards. Right, so you have some players that are going too hard, right, and they're making everyone else go hard, or the other people just get crushed and don't have fun. Then you have other people that are trying to play thematically, and they're either getting crushed and not having fun, or they're slowing the other people down and the other people don't have fun. And it's just a bad combo, you know? It's a bad combo. It's the unfortunateness of any video game, or any game at all, really, not even just video games. But the truth is that the problem exacerbates itself when the gulf is really large. So when the space between the players is really big, this problem gets worse and 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 worse. It's what leads to like pretty toxic communities forming. Also, when you have players of different desires and skill levels, and you make them rely on each other, you generally have pretty toxic communities form as well. Because not only are the more narrative kind of fun players going too slow, they're now like quote unquote actively hurting, which is like fucking exaggeration, but whatever. Actively hurting the other players. And the other players are like, they're not getting to it, the like slow players aren't getting to enjoy themselves anymore because they now like have to like go too fast or whatever. So it's this really bad mix of things that can happen when you have sort of like a player golf like that, and it just gets more and more toxic and more exacerbated as that golf gets wider. So as a game developer, you really need to make sure that golf is not like crazy wide. Like, you know, because that way the poor players, or the like the slow narrative players are still doing okay, and the other players are being forced to go a little bit slower, and it really works out in everybody's interest. Alright, I'll be back in 1 second. I'm going to grab one of the completed pieces of this train so I can see what colors I used in it. Oh. Wow, I'm back. Alright, here's a completed piece. You can see I used some brass, I used some iron and some silver. Some green for the terminal, but I don't have any of those. And some red for the wires. Alright. So I got the red. Let me find your brass. Give me a sec. Pour it in my reach. What are you? Bright bronze. There we go. I need some kind of iron. Tinny tin, that's what it is. What else was on here? I need a silver. Silver. J-Mill silver. There we go. Alright, we're good. We're good, we're good. We found all our colors. Alright. And then I guess bits and bobs that I want to do on the top too. You can see it right there. The wires and stuff. Alright. I guess let's do some wires and stuff first. And then we'll go from there. Oh, thank you. But yeah, I also want to try out the one-page rules gang rules, because it's like a different campaign than what we were doing last time. So I'm pretty curious in that. So I think next time we play, that's what we're gonna do. I think we'll play with an actual one-page rules army as well. I think we'll play with the jackals. So I think I can put together enough of them for like a 150 point game pretty quick. I actually haven't looked at what units the jackals have in the game. I assume they basically have everything in the box, but not the box, the downloads, but haven't actually looked. Well, minus the, because they come with like a super heavy, which is like this giant like dinosaur like weapons platform thing. It's like the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm really hyped to print one out. Sorry, apparently my back's fucking killing me. I was going to go down to the hobby shop today, but I decided I'll go next week now. Because down at Other Realms, the Kit Bash competition entries are out on display. So I'm going to go down and see them. See my big rat on display. Be fun. Be pretty fun. I'll probably do that next weekend now. Just because there's not anything I need to like pick up from there or anything this weekend. So I don't really need to buy anything. I got enough hobbies stuff right now, and I just bought a bunch of new Gundams. So like, you know, don't really need to go down there, so we'll hold off to when I need to. So I'll still be on display next weekend. Should be pretty cool. So I'll go down and take pictures of that, put it up on Instagram. It'll be fun. Next weekend I'm gonna have to go and pick up a box of squats anyway. So I think I'm gonna pre-order them. I've been debating it all week. If I was actually gonna get them or not. I think I will. I was debating not because I didn't really like their heads, but then I saw them unpainted, and I was like, wow, these are actually really nice looking. So I'm gonna pick up a box of those. I think they'll be pretty fun, but they'll be in next weekend, so. So I can go down to the hobby shop then. I did not realize how much my back is fucking hurting. Jesus. Whew. But yeah, so that'll be cool. They're pretty much the only thing I have like on my radar to pick up anytime soon. I want some of the new Chaos stuff, but it's actually not going for pre-order. The only thing that's going for pre-order is the Combat Patrol. And it's a really nice Combat Patrol, and I will probably definitely get one, but I don't need to have it like today. You know, so it can wait and be a gift in the future kind of thing, you know? I can wait for that for like my anniversary or Christmas or something, you know? I don't have to have it today. So I probably won't be pre-ordering that. Just because I've got enough other projects right now anyway, so I don't need more Chaos Space Marine guys at the moment. I've got enough to play. And I inadvertently bought one of those dreadnoughts that comes in that box anyway. I thought I was buying the other dreadnought, but the stupid white label boxes. I mean, this dreadnought is nicer than the other dreadnought, don't get me wrong, but yeah. So that's this guy. This is the guy that comes in the box. It's really nice, tons of customization options and stuff. So this one is just going to be my regular cast, and then the one comes out of that box I'm going to convert for Nurgle. So both those Chaos armies wound up having themselves a dreadnought, even accidentally. So that's pretty cool. Happy little accidents. Go. I'm gonna paint this box silver as well. This like hammered silver primer I have, I really like the like weird spotty nature it does. I think it looks really cool in this like old kind of beat up looking terrain. I'm really happy with that. And I don't think it really stands out, but I do paint those things at the bottom. I do paint those silver. I don't think it really stands out. But yeah. I'm going to be super honest. I don't know if I've talked about anything super useful. I've kind of just been rambling. Yesterday I was super in like I need attention mode, so I was bugging my husband all day. And we went out to the mall. I haven't been to the anime store in like 4 or 5 months, something like that. So we went out to the mall and got ourselves some ramen and bought myself a couple Gundams. I got this lady, these like cool robot arm and legs. That's pretty cool. These like skanky ladies and they're not really skanky, but they're like robot ladies and like the 30-minute missions. They're like the main Gundams I build these days. And they're really cool. They're really fun. They're all interchangeable. I literally have just like a box of them just to like play around with. Like just to like swap their bits and be like, oh, what if he had this gun? And, you know, they're fun. I can literally just like lay in bed and mess around with all the bits. Oh, missed some wires. Missed some wires. We'll get those. Alright, let's get those wires. Before the red paint dries up too much. Yeah, they're really fun because they all interchange and stuff. Because they're all using the same peg sizes. So like they can trade parts with the 30-minute missions kits. And 30-minute sisters can trade parts with each other and stuff. It's really fun. They're a fun kind of just enjoyable thing to build and mess around with. I've been wanting to make some like custom ones and paint them all up and everything, but I don't know. Every time I get set up to do it, I just haven't done it. And I'm like, this guy would be so cool. I should paint him so he all matches and looks good. But I just haven't done it. I really should do that. Should be my project for like tomorrow is get some guys together, 30-minute mission guys to paint. Alright, we got those all done. Let's do some of the tin. The computer's been kind of still in the fritz. It's real suck, to put it lightly. Sometimes it works perfectly fine, and sometimes it's crashing like every 5 minutes. It's really weird. I'm still trying to figure out why. I haven't quite figured it out. But I bought some new RAM because my husband blew up my RAM when he was moving it over to the new box that he got me for my birthday. So I had to buy more new RAM. Do I paint all the cables? I think I do. Let's do on this one at least. I think I paint all of these. Yeah, my husband blew up my RAM. So, had to buy new RAM. And one of the sticks he says is still good, so that's what I've been using. But I wonder if that's the problem, so we'll see. We'll see when it gets here. That gets here either this evening or tomorrow. I don't remember which. I want to say tomorrow. We'll see. Fingers crossed it fixes everything. Fingers crossed. See, I'm not doing all the details, just some of them, right? Enough to give the implication that there's a lot of detail in there without it being too much, you know? Because like your terrain is really supposed to be like a background thing, you know? It's not really supposed to be like the main focus. But you still want enough painting done on it to where it you know, it can stand on its own and still look pretty good. You know, like I'm pretty happy with how that looks, right? Like that looks pretty good. You know? Like, it's pretty good. Alright, let's see, what else? Let's pick out some bits on this, I guess. Paint like this panel here. Like that. There we go. What do I have on this guy? Oh, we got a bunch of little fans. They look pretty good the color they are, though. I'll paint the insides on them, though. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Go. Pick this panel out. Just like that. I'm not going to do like amazing, perfect, super heavy coverage of it, because that way some of the dirt and stuff, you can still see some of the variation in it. That's what I want. Is there anything up here we want to paint? I guess let's paint one of the tubes, I guess. Let's paint this one right there. And we'll do that one. There we go. Alright. Now we can break out this Mama Jama. This is bright bronze. This is legitimately one of my favorite colors. So this one I use super sparingly because it is very, very, very bright. But I like to do all the bolts in it because I think they're a cool detail. And things like these name plaques and stuff. But like I try not to do like tubes and stuff in this. Because I think they're very bright. I think it's a very bright color. There we go. Don't think I do all of these little ones. I think I just do these ones here on the sides. If memory serves. Yeah, that seems right. Right? I didn't paint all the ones on the side? No. Okay. Good. What? We'll do this detail. Because that looks cool, because then you've got a couple different little colors there. Hello! Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Pick out those big bolts and stuff. A couple other little bits and bobs here and there. Maybe we'll do one of the side panels in this bronze, something like that. You know? There we go. But yeah. It was a little bit of a rough health week, so you know. Oh fuck, I forgot to eat those. Alright, we'll get them around too. A little bit of a rough health week, so I really didn't get a ton done this week. Started to work on some Necrons from Imperium. Because I'm falling behind on my Imperium guys. I don't like that. So we at least could get all the Necrons done before the next one comes. And then maybe the Space Marines. The thing about the Space Marines is that I really like to kit bash the hell out of them. before I paint them, so they take a lot longer. You know what I mean? Because of that, they take a lot longer. Whereas the Necrons are only one of them. I really kipash. I turned him into trades in the Infinite, just so I have him. Plus, my model's infinitely cooler than the actual Trojan. So, those vents all done there. Nice. All right. Those little bits of brass as well. But yeah, I have so much tabletop stuff I'm like super excited to do. It's just like COVID's fucking it up, you know? I've got this awesome Battletech terrain. I want to play Battletech really bad. Battletech Alpha Strike, by the way, is like the fucking best game ever. I really want to like get people into OPR, because I think OPR is like legitimately like, I feel like it's like the future of wargaming. Like I know that sounds really cheesy, but legitimately. Like, their games are just so much more chill and fun and like thematic and crazy than like actual games. Go. Just painting these up since I got so much bronze out. After I finish up these 3 bits here, get them ready for washes, I'm probably going to call it though. My back is killing me. Like, super killing me. I gotta go stretch it out. Wait, did I do those? Oh, I didn't even do those on those. I gotta do that still. That's one of the benefits of like assembly lining this versus how I'm doing it. Is like if I miss this step, right, like I'll miss it on everything. Which is actually kind of nice, because then you're like, oh man, I missed that. And you just run back through everything and do it. Versus like having one, like your chance of catching it is much, much smaller. When you have like one that might be a pain in the ass for. Alright. So I gotta paint these, and then we gotta paint the lines on the lights. And then these are basically ready for washes. Time for the lines on the lights. So, I'm going to break out some gunmetal. This is just called gunmetal from Game Color. This is a little lighter than the GW gunmetals, but it's in a dropper bottle, so it's much nicer. Back and lightly doing the lines. I'm trying to actually not touch the tip of the brush to the piece. What I'm trying to do is actually touch the side of the brush to it, like your edge highlighting. It's a lot easier to help make less mistakes that way. Also, if you saw me pulling to myself there, try not to do that. I'm sorry, trying like moving away from myself there. Try not to do that. You generally have more muscle control as you're moving towards yourself than away from yourself. So there you go. There's the lines all done. Like this motion is less controlled than this one. So thank you. Okay, I'm just trying to touch the edge. Right. Trying to touch the edge. I really should be playing something this weekend on the channel. I just did not get that AI generator done as far as I wanted because of health stuff this week. It's just a real like pisser, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It really bugs me when mental health stuff gets in the way of my life. I mean, that's to play some this time. So next time we play, we are going to use the OPR gang fight rules. Well, hopefully, fingers fucking crossed, be next weekend. Fingers crossed. So, hopefully. Pick some of these out because they're just really brown, so the details stand out a little bit better. Alright, and then back to painting light lines. So you don't really need to do the lines, right? You can just be like, oh, OSL, you can't see the line because the light's on. But I think they look so much cooler with the lines, to be honest. I just think it makes the lights look a lot cooler. There we go. Yeah, that one I fucked up a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. No, it's not. I need to fix that. That looks really bad. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. You can try to paint within the lines the first time, but I found it's harder to do that than it is just to come back and do the lines afterward. I found it tends to be a little bit easier just to do that instead. Go. I'm going to do all these in, and then I'll go back and fix the one I fucked up. That way you can do all the fixes at one time. Okay. But yeah. Would we need to do that gang fight game maybe like with the jackals or something? That would be really neat. I have to check to see what you can put into a jackal list. I imagine they're not like... I imagine they're pretty squishy. So, considering they're basically like half naked. So... I imagine you're going to get quite a few of them. Oh, and there you go. Side lights are nice and easy because again, you just drag the brush over them, right? Like that. And drag the side of the brush. You generally get pretty good painting on the lines when you do that. Go. Alright, so let's fill in the errors. And then we'll probably call it after that. like I said, my back's fucking killing me. And I gotta set up my FDM printer. I will probably go check in with my husband, see what we're doing for food, and then I will probably work on setting in my FDM printer so I can make some of those bases that I talked about. Because really not a big fan of resin bases. I don't know why. I like the FDM ones better. I really do. There we go. There we go. Alright, the arrow's done. And that is our pieces of terrain all done. Alright. That guy. And this guy. And that guy. Alright. Next they will get themselves a nice Agrax Earthshade wash. And then they'll look like this. In the end. That's what they'll look like. Nice and dirty. So you can see before and after wash. You can see it's going to darken the color of that wall down pretty considerably. This one might have also been one of the gunmetal ones, so it might be a little bit brighter than that, but yeah, it should be pretty sweet. And then we'll have more walls boom, boom, to go into our hive. So I can make some really crazy displays out of it. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys for watching me paint 3 pieces of terrain and then do some dry brushing and look at all my crazy models, like, you know, whoa, that guy. But I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I'm going to check in on lunch with my husband, and then I'm probably going to redo part of my craft room so I can set my FDM printer up in here. So what you can't see on the desk right here, right? This is my desk. Everything's actually meant to be. I know I have like a ludicrous ton of shit on this desk, but it's actually all meant to be taken off, so I can play on it. Because there's these under here. These are all game mats. So all this stuff actually pulls off the table really easily, actually. And then the desk to my right, I have a second desk, and on that desk is my 3D printer right now, my resin one. And then an area where I have just like some like crap, right? I'm going to clean that crap out, and I'm going to put my FDM printer there. So I can run it. Pretty much it's going to be a base production machine, because anything that I really like want detail and stuff on, I'll print in resin, because it's just so much nicer. But I don't really like the resin bases, and yeah, like cost wise, like I would rather have a plastic base. I just would. So yeah, so I'm gonna get that set up, and that'll be pretty cool. Get that running, and then I'm probably gonna go lay down and stretch my back out, because fuck, it hurts. But go ahead, I'm gonna call it there. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, craziness. Alright, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys. Keep on keeping on.